we've talked about this subject on many of our podcasts, the emotional toll that selling your business takes on not only the owners, but their families. You can prepare for many aspects of this emotional roller coaster, but there are things that come up as you get into a deal. We call it deal fatigue, that really affect you, the stress level, the anxiety, not just you and your families. There's one aspect that I want to focus on today, and I thought it's very important because we've run into this situation on a number of occasions recently with clients. Hi, everybody. My name is kdee, President of Osage Advisors. Thank you for being with us today. Our podcast, The Ins and Outs of Selling a Business, and this week's Big Hurdle. So that emotional roller coaster, is something that you have your highs, your lows. It's just constant from the day you decide to sell to you close the transaction and afterwards. And one aspect of this that we've seen in a couple of things we've worked on recently is vulnerability, right? And I wrote down the definition because I wanted to talk about it, is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being either attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. And to me, most of our clients are selling for the first and only time. So they've never had to, quote unquote, open up to the outside world outside of, their partner, or their family, as to the toll that this could possibly take on them when they're selling. And certain aspects of vulnerability really lean into, especially as we get older, and this is kind of the subject of today, is that they call social vulnerability. Is like, this has been my life for, 20, 30, 40 years. And when you're an older business owner, let's say, 65 to 75, that unknown out there can really have an impact on your decision-making process when you're going through the sales process and managing that vulnerability aspect. And by the way, I did a deep dive into this, and we're going to do a full podcast on this subject matter because there's various different states of vulnerability. Managing that aspect of vulnerability when it comes to you, that this is my life, what am I going to do with myself, post-close, it's impactful, and you need to lean on not only your family, but your advisors like us, like Osage. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to put things in context, have those deep conversations, provide that support mechanism, answer those tough questions honestly, frankly, to your satisfaction, find answers for you so that no matter what they are, that you're comfortable. As I say to our team, I've said in this podcast before, if it's a concern to our client, it's a concern to us. And if you're not able to manage that, that emotional aspect, that vulnerability you feel, you may decide, and this happens a lot, to say, look, I'm not going to do the deal because you don't know what your future is going to bring, even though the right decision is to do the deal. You're at a point in your life where the value proposition in front of you from the buyer that you signed on with to sell your business works for you, is going to protect you. It's going to provide the liquidity you need for you and your family to live, the rest of your life the way you want to. And by not managing that aspect of it, it could lead to, a detrimental outcome that unfortunately we've seen on more than several occasions where, business deteriorated, COVID hit, major health crisis happened. Hey, look, we all feel like we're invincible as owners, right? Because you run your deal, your family, you run it a certain way for so many years, and I'll just keep on doing it. I'll revisit it in a couple of years. Well, is that the right decision for you? Is that the right for your family? I mean, you got to have those hard conversations with yourself, and have those hard conversations with family members, or even if you have family members in the business that are feeling the same vulnerability because they've only reported to you for 20, 30 years as a family member, versus now a new management team's coming, a new ownership team's coming in. They're feeling the same thing. And their uncomfortableness or vulnerableness with that piece of the emotional landscape can also have a major impact on your decision-making process that is not in your best interest. Now, look, sometimes you have your gut feeling where, like, I just don't feel good about it. Hey, we're the first one to raise your hand to don't do the deal. But when you have a legitimate deal that crosses every T, dots every I, and provides that liquidity event that you worked your whole life with, you need to come to grips, or we recommend to really make sure you make the right decision. Lean on your advisors in this case, whether it's us as Osage, whether it's your estate and trust attorney, whether it's your trusted advisor network that you've dealt with for many, many years, whether it's your family. And probably your family is could be skewed a little bit. So it's somebody independent that you really rely on trust, your lawyer, your CPA, your executive. I can go on forever. But when that decision point is here, that aspect of walking from a deal because of uncomfortableness, that you feel like what's going to happen to me, is not a reason. It's not the reason not to do the deal, because long term, the downside effect of not doing the deal could outweigh the positive effects of staying on. God forbid something happens, right? So I think you really got to look yourself in the mirror. I think you talk to people, right? Talk to your advisors, talk to your friends, talk to your trusted advisors, so that they can help provide you that support. You need that support network, right? And and lean into it, because at the end of the day, that decision is going to be made one way or the other at some point in time. And you want to do it on your terms versus waiting down the road where that it's not on your terms because of some event that happens. So I hope that helps. And I said earlier, this whole vulnerability, emotional roller coaster is something that we're really going to dig into on a future podcast. But for today, thanks for being with us. Again, my name is Keith Dee, President of Osage Advisors. I hope you enjoyed our podcast, the ins and outs of selling a business. If so, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. To learn more about Osage, please visit our website at osageadvisors.com. If you have any questions about today's topic or anything else, feel free to email me at kdee@osageadvisors.com, or pick up the phone and give me a call at 860-767-3273, extension 1001. Thanks again for being here today, and have a great day.